Just beneath the windswept sands of the Western Sahara, a profound mystery awaits discovery. Breaking news reveals that scientists have uncovered a hidden path leading to a lost city within the Sahara Desert. This enigmatic site, known as the Richat Structure or the Eye of the Sahara, might be the real-world counterpart to the legendary Atlantis. The ancient philosopher Plato described a city strikingly similar to the Eye of the Sahara, which has been lost to time. Join us as we delve into this captivating site where myth and geological reality intersect. Could this be the Atlantis that Plato wrote about? Let's find out. In the scorching, arid expanse of the Sahara Desert lies an intriguing mystery. The Richat Structure, visible from space, resembles a colossal bullseye with concentric rings that appear almost otherworldly. But how did such a perfectly circular formation come to exist in such a remote and desolate location? When we examine the Richat Structure, which spans 40 kilometers, its massive size is unmistakable, so much so that it was first identified from space. This formation has captured the attention of geologists and archaeologists for decades, with studies continuing into the early 21st century and concluding around 2008. Recently, scientists confirmed a long-held theory about the site. But to understand the significance of these discoveries, we need to first understand the Eye of the Sahara itself. Geologists explain that the Eye's distinctive ridges and valleys formed through the differential erosion of alternating layers of hard and soft rock. These layers were pushed upward into a dome shape by an ancient geological force, an underlying alkaline igneous complex dating back to the Cretaceous period. The archaeological discoveries within the Eye are equally intriguing. Evidence shows that early humans once inhabited this area, leaving their mark across the landscape of the Eye. Deposits of pre-Acheulean and Acheulean artifacts have been found, including the characteristic oval and pear-shaped hand axes used by early human species such as Homo erectus and Homo heidelbergensis. These tools represent an advancement beyond the primitive older one tools associated with Homo habilis, indicating a period when early humans were mastering their environment. But the question remains, what drew these ancient peoples to this particular spot? And this leads to the enduring mystery. Is this a natural formation? Or could it be the lost city of Atlantis that Plato described so long ago? Plato spoke of Atlantis as a technologically advanced civilization arranged in concentric circles of land and sea. His description remarkably matches the Richat Structure with its layers and rings. As we delve deeper into this mystery, it's hard not to wonder how this place came to be. Geologists have called the Richat Structure a symmetrical uplift, meaning it was formed by natural forces that pushed the ground upward, followed by erosion that shaped it. While this explanation is plausible, it doesn't fully account for its striking resemblance to Plato's detailed city. The Richat Structure is composed of various types of rock. The outermost ring is made of tough quartzite, which likely helped it retain its shape over millions of years. The inner rings consist of softer rocks like limestone and sandstone, which are more easily eroded and shaped. But there's more here than just rocks. Archaeologists have discovered ancient tools and artifacts around the Richat Structure, indicating that people once lived in this area. The distribution of Acheulean tools, and thus the movement of the peoples who made them, appears to have been influenced by significant ecological shifts, including glaciation events and the gradual desertification of the Sahara. Research suggests that during the African humid period, this region was teeming with life, featuring lush vegetation and lakes. Early humans thrived here as hunter-gatherers, taking advantage of the abundant natural resources. But how did such a vibrant environment turn into the harsh, unforgiving desert we see today? The mysterious past of the Sahara Desert. If you had traveled through the Sahara Desert 10,500 years ago, you would have seen a very different world. What if we told you that this desert wasn't always a desert? Picture dense forests and lush grasslands under the African sun. These grasslands supported a diverse array of life, including giraffes, elephants, rhinos, and even crocodiles. It's hard to believe that such an ecosystem once existed in northern Africa, isn't it? The transformation of the Sahara's environment is a dramatic tale of Earth's climatic changes. Just over 10,000 years ago, this region supported large animals that would not survive here today. What caused this thriving savanna to become the harsh, lifeless desert we see now? Scientists have been uncovering this mystery by examining the Sahara's sands and studying cosmic influences on Earth's climate. Factors such as asteroid impacts and changes in Earth's axial tilt have historically shaped our planet's climate. A significant shift in Earth's tilt transformed the Sahara from a desert into a savanna. This alteration changed the angle of the sun's rays, affecting seasonal monsoon rains that once made the Sahara a wet, fertile region. This transformation occurred cyclically due to Earth's repetitive wobbling. But is there more to this story? Interestingly, the Sahara's lush periods were temporary, typically lasting only a few hundred years. This brief window of fertility explains why no vast civilizations developed across the entire region. There wasn't enough time for societies to establish deep roots before the environment reverted to desert conditions. But what about the animals? It's likely that large grazers migrated across this temporary savanna, following the rains and fertile conditions. Remnants of their bones might still be buried beneath the sands. The idea that the Sahara once supported such a diverse ecosystem deepens the mystery of its past. Yet, the transformation back to a desert is an even more striking chapter in the Sahara's history. Research shows that between 8,000 and 4,500 years ago, the environment rapidly shifted back to its current arid state. This change was too sudden to be attributed solely to natural shifts in the Earth's axis. So, what caused this abrupt desertification? As scientists delved deeper, examining archaeological artifacts, pollen records, and sediment cores from beneath the Sahara's surface, a troubling pattern emerged. The initial signs of ecological change coincided with the regions where early humans had begun to domesticate animals and allow them to graze. Could human activity have influenced the Sahara's environmental fate? It seems that the interaction between humans and their livestock had unintended consequences on the savanna. Grazing animals consumed the grass, leaving the earth bare and exposed to the scorching sun. Without vegetation, the soil couldn't retain moisture, preventing the grass from regrowing. Over time, this cycle of degradation transformed the fertile savanna back into a desert. This revelation raises important questions about human impact on the environment. How did early human activities contribute to such a significant climatic shift? Interestingly, traces of Neolithic activity have also been found at the eye of the Sahara, with artifacts primarily located to the northwest of the outer ring. However, these signs of human presence disappear as one moves inward toward the heart of the structure. Why is there such a stark difference in artifact distribution within the same geological feature? The absence of middens or signs of permanent settlements suggests that this location was used temporarily, perhaps only for hunting and tool-making. Did these people shape the land, or were they merely drawn to its beauty and mystery? With every new clue, more questions arise. What if the Richat structure really is connected to the Atlantis that Plato wrote about? What if it was the center of a forgotten civilization? Imagine a world where tales of lost cities aren't just myths whispered in museums. What if one of these cities, Atlantis, might not just be a figment of ancient imagination, but a real place whose echoes still ripple through our history? What if the government knows more than it's revealing? The name Atlantis conjures images of monumental disasters and a civilization wiped out by the relentless forces of nature, or perhaps something more sinister. The legend originates from none other than Plato, the renowned Greek philosopher who introduced this mystery in his writings. Plato recounts a story told to Solon by an Egyptian priestess. He describes a mighty city that existed 9,000 years before their time. This city was a marvel of engineering, a testament to human genius with its concentric circles of land and water. Atlantis was a lush paradise, the envy of all civilizations. But then disaster struck. In a single day and night of misfortune, Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, leaving behind only a tale to be told. But what if the catastrophe described by Plato was misunderstood over the centuries? The word island in his text is translated from the ancient Greek nessos, which could mean any land surrounded by water, not just an island. Could Atlantis have been part of a larger landmass or a series of interconnected islands that remain undiscovered today? Let's explore further. Plato describes Atlantis as a powerful civilization with influence extending far into Africa and Europe. This wasn't a remote island outpost, but a major power with far-reaching impacts. How could such an important center just disappear? Perhaps the sinking of Atlantis was not literal, but metaphorical. Natural disasters like earthquakes and floods could have led to its destruction and burial under layers of mud and sediment. Consider this. If the area was known to be impassable, choked with mud and debris, isn't it plausible that the remnants of Atlantis are closer than we think? They might be hidden beneath our feet in places currently considered mere archaeological or geological sites. Plato wasn't just spinning tales. He was delving into profound societal, ethical, and existential ideas. His depiction of Atlantis was far from a modest myth. He described it as a landmass larger than Libya and Asia combined, with concentric rings of land and sea that were an engineering marvel of its time. The layout of Atlantis, as Plato detailed, was sophisticated, featuring elaborate canals and bridges connecting the rings of land and water to a fertile central plain surrounded by high mountains. These mountains were rich in resources and served as a natural fortress for the city. Atlantis wasn't just remarkable for its geography. Plato described a city abundant in resources, including rare metals like orichalcum along with gold and silver. Its infrastructure was advanced, boasting water systems, majestic temples, grand palaces, and bustling markets. But Atlantis symbolized more than material wealth. Plato envisioned a society rich in law, traditions, and governance, supported by a strong military. But the tale of Atlantis is not one of eternal prosperity. It's a story of moral decay and eventual downfall. The city's shift from a utopian ideal to a cautionary tale of corruption speaks volumes about Plato's intentions. He wasn't just telling a story. He was warning against the hubris of civilizations, suggesting that even the greatest can fall. So why does the Eye of the Sahara or the Richat Structure invoke such intense curiosity? Its striking resemblance to the descriptions of Atlantis raises an intriguing possibility. Could there be a connection between this geographical anomaly and Plato's legendary island? The circular layered nature of the Richat structure closely mirrors the concentric layout of Atlantis as described in ancient texts. Could this isolated wonder have once been a thriving civilization now reduced to geological layers? Why aren't we pushing harder, digging deeper, and asking more questions? It's not an impossible thought. The discoveries of Derinkuyu City and the Indus Valley Civilization happened under similar circumstances. The Derinkuyu City. Did you know why the idea of finding Atlantis in the Sahara Desert isn't far-fetched? Because similar discoveries have been made in the past. In 1963, a resident of the Turkish town of Derinkuyu stumbled upon an extraordinary find while renovating his basement. Behind a wall, he uncovered a tunnel leading to a vast underground city with numerous rooms and halls. The identity of the discoverer remains unknown, as no reports mention his name. But here's the remarkable part. This underground city was immense, extending up to 18 stories deep and spacious enough to accommodate 20,000 people. Who constructed it and why was it abandoned? Derinkuyu is situated in Cappadocia, renowned for its peculiar landscape and stone formations known as fairy chimneys. Throughout history, people in this region have carved into the soft rock to create dwellings, temples, and shelters. Yet, the question persists: who carved out this colossal underground city? Some suggest it was the Hittites around 2000 BC. Others propose it could have been the Phrygians in 700 BC, while some speculate it might have been early Christians in the first few centuries AD. Whoever the builders were, they demonstrated remarkable skill. Tunneling through soft rock is relatively straightforward, but the risk of cave-ins is ever present. Remarkably, none of the floors in Derinkuyu have collapsed. One thing is certain: whoever constructed it intended it for concealment. They utilized rolling stones to seal off the city from the inside, leading researchers to speculate that it was to defend against enemy armies. Subsequent modifications to the city exhibit signs of Christian influence dating from the 6th to the 10th century AD. However, the enigma of the precise builders of this subterranean marvel remains unsolved. Additionally, when the inhabitants of Derinkuyu retreated into the depths of the underground city, they ensured a vital necessity: breathable air. With over 15,000 shafts, most approximately 10 centimeters wide, they ensured a constant flow of air down to the 8th level of the city. The upper levels served as living quarters, offering the best air quality, while the lower levels primarily functioned for storage, with the inclusion of a dungeon. Between these levels lay a variety of spaces for different purposes: areas for winemaking, animal husbandry, even a convent and small churches. Among these, the most renowned was the cruciform church on the 7th level. Such intricacies provoke curiosity about what else might be concealed within its depths. Some of these shafts served a dual purpose, functioning not only as air passages, but also as wells. Imagine drawing water from a well unknowingly passing through a hidden city. Some speculate that the underground city provided a snug refuge from the unpredictable weather above ground. Cappadocia experiences extremes, from freezing winters to scorching summers, yet within the city, the temperature remains consistently moderate. Furthermore, it served as an ideal location to safeguard harvests from both prying eyes and dampness. However, the city wasn't solely a comfortable retreat. It became a vital refuge during times of conflict and invasion. From battles between the Byzantines and Arabs to Mongol raids and Ottoman conquests, people sought sanctuary in its depths. Even in the 20th century, amid nearby massacres, locals instinctively sought safety below ground. After a war, the Greek inhabitants of Derinkuyu departed, taking with them their knowledge and the Greek name Malakopi, meaning soft. Today, Derinkuyu attracts a multitude of tourists, yet it's just one of many remarkable subterranean wonders nestled within Cappadocia. This region boasts a vast network of over 200 underground cities, sprawling across 445 square kilometers. While Derinkuyu claims the title of the largest, encompassing a significant portion of this network, it represents merely a fraction of the underground labyrinth. These subterranean cities vary in size and complexity, with more than 40 of them extending 3 levels deep or more. Many are interconnected via meticulously crafted tunnels, some stretching up to 9 kilometers in length. Each city was equipped with emergency escape routes, reflecting the foresight and planning of their creators. Despite extensive exploration, Cappadocia's underground mysteries largely remain untouched. However, in 2014, archaeologists unearthed a potentially larger underground city beneath the Nevzahir region, hinting at the existence of even more hidden treasures awaiting discovery. The narrative of Derinkuyu took a significant turn in 1923, when the Cappadocian Greek population evacuated the area, marking the conclusion of over 2 millennia of habitation. This departure left Derinkuyu abandoned and largely forgotten, echoing a similar fate to that of the Indus Valley civilization. The Lost City of Harappa, unveiling the Indus Valley civilization. Imagine journeying back over 5,000 years to the flourishing era of the Indus Valley civilization, stretching across the fertile plains along the Indus River. From what is now the northeastern region of Afghanistan through Pakistan and into northwest India, this civilization stood not merely as one among many, but as one of the three foundational pillars of the ancient world's cradle of civilization, alongside ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Yet, amidst these ancient cultures, what distinguished the Indus Valley civilization? The quest to unravel the mysteries of the Indus Valley civilization commenced unexpectedly with a chance discovery by John Faithful Fleet, an English civil servant serving in the Indian Civil Services. In 1912, Fleet stumbled upon Harappan seals, small yet significant artifacts that served as the keys unlocking the gateway to one of the most enigmatic civilizations of antiquity. What secrets might these intricately carved objects conceal, and how did they pave the way for one of the most significant archaeological revelations in South Asia? The initiation of an extensive excavation campaign followed swiftly after Fleet's groundbreaking discovery in 1921. Spearheading this monumental effort was Sir John Hubert Marshall, esteemed as the Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India. Marshall's endeavour was nothing short of piecing together the narrative of a civilization shrouded in the mists of time. How did Marshall's team tackle this Herculean task, and what adversities did they encounter along the way? The excavation endeavours unveiled the site of Harappa, eventually acknowledged as one of the pivotal cities of the illustrious Indus Valley civilization, alongside its counterpart, Mohenjo-Daro. By the year 1931, a significant portion of Mohenjo-Daro had already been excavated, revealing to the world an exceptionally advanced urban centre that stood leagues ahead of its contemporaries. What profound insights did the ruins of these ancient cities impart about the lives and societal structure of their inhabitants? Spanning a considerable period from 3300 to 1300 BCE, the civilization reached its zenith during the mature Harappan phase, thriving from 2600 to 1900 BCE. Remarkably, historical evidence suggests that this flourishing period may have accommodated a population exceeding 5 million individuals. This raises a compelling inquiry. How did an ancient civilization of such antiquity manage to sustain such a prodigious populace? The solution lies in their pioneering urban planning strategies and sophisticated infrastructure systems. Indeed, the Indus Valley civilization stands as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of humanity across the ages. However, it is imperative to acknowledge that our understanding of this ancient society is an ever-evolving tapestry, continuously enriched by ongoing archaeological endeavours and scholarly investigations. As we delve deeper into the annals of history, we unravel new layers of insight into the enigmatic past, further illuminating the pathways of human civilization. During their respective eras, the contemporary cities of the Indus Valley bore the names Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. These extraordinary urban centres boasted meticulously planned grid layouts, brick houses baked to perfection, and remarkably efficient drainage systems and water supply networks. Yet perhaps even more remarkable was their adeptness in metallurgy. Inhabitants of these cities pioneered new techniques in working with metals like copper, bronze, lead, and tin, ushering in the Bronze Age. When Harappa was unearthed in the 1920s, it revealed itself as a fortified city accommodating approximately 23,500 residents. Its sprawling ruins hinted at grandeur, featuring intricately sculpted houses with flat roofs crafted from red sand and clay, extending across an impressive 150 hectares. Conversely, Mohenjo-Daro not only stood as the largest city of the Indus Valley, but also ranked among the earliest major urban centers globally. It was believed to have hosted significant religious and ceremonial activities, such as bathing rituals, indicative of sophisticated social structures and cultural practices. However, the enigma arises. Why was this city, with its advanced engineering and urban planning, deserted around 1900 BCE as the civilization entered a period of decline? The discovery of these cities is itself a tale of intrigue. The ruins of Harappa were initially stumbled upon in 1842, and by the 1920s, the magnitude of these ancient cities began to emerge from the depths of time. Yet, not all revelations were intentional. In 1856, while British engineers were laying railway tracks, they chanced upon the well-fired bricks of Harappa and repurposed them for ballast, unwittingly dismantling the remnants of a long-forgotten city. The Indus people were also renowned for their remarkable craftsmanship. They demonstrated expertise in creating intricate handicrafts, notably utilizing carnelian, a semi-precious gemstone, and excelling in seal carvings. These seals, often employed for stamping purposes, were adorned with elaborate designs. The rise and fall of the Indus Valley civilization provide insight into the dynamic and multifaceted nature of ancient societies. The sophistication of their urban infrastructure and their abrupt decline around 1900 BCE has long captivated the interest of scholars. What precipitated their downfall? Was it environmental shifts, societal unrest, or unforeseen circumstances? As we delve deeper into the annals of Indus Valley history, each new discovery and excavation reveals another layer of the past. However, can we apply the same reasoning when exploring the mysteries of Plato's Atlantis? Plato's Atlantis, fiction or fact? Solon, an esteemed Athenian statesman and poet, and a relative of Plato, ventured to Egypt where he acquired first-hand knowledge about Atlantis. The captivating accounts he gathered were later passed on to Plato. Yet, have you ever pondered how these ancient narratives might intersect with contemporary geographical findings? In his dialogues, Critias and Timaeus, Plato vividly depicted Atlantis as possessing 3 concentric zones of water separated by 2 land zones. This depiction strikingly resembles the structure known as the Eye of the Sahara. Could this resemblance be more than mere coincidence? Additional details from Plato's narratives indicate that the nearby mountains, esteemed as divine habitats due to their verdant rivers and cascading waterfalls, align uncannily with the mountains north of the Eye. Satellite imagery of this region reveals distinct river courses and water features crisscrossing the terrain. Furthermore, Plato mentions a sea to the south of Atlantis and an encircling desert, characteristics also observable in satellite views of the area. Intriguingly, it is recounted that fresh water emanated from the central island of Atlantis, a trait strikingly reminiscent of the central circle of the Eye. Satellite-derived weather patterns depict mudslides traversing the region, akin to the devastating forces of a tsunami which, according to legend, contributed to Atlantis' demise. Could this evidence signify the catastrophic end of Atlantis? Furthermore, the export of copper and gold from Mauritania mirrors the wealth of the Atlantean Empire. Additionally, the discovery of numerous elephant remains near the Eye corresponds with Plato's assertions of abundant wildlife in Atlantis. Even the distinct black, red, and lighter-hued rocks described by Plato are discernible in the Eye's geological makeup. Discoveries made through archaeological excavations in the vicinity of the Richat Structure reveal artifacts dating back more than 12,000 years, encompassing arrowheads, spears, and fragments of ancient vessels. These findings, originating from an era that corresponds with the speculated time frame of Atlantis, evoke a sense of wonder. Could they potentially be remnants of this enigmatic lost empire? The myth of Atlantis portrays an empire comprising 10 kingdoms governed by 10 princes, offspring of Poseidon. Intriguingly, the highest occurrence of twin births, a rarity reminiscent of the legend, occurs in Nigeria, in proximity to Mauritania. Despite the credibility of Plato and Solon, it remains perplexing that Atlantis remains their sole contentious tale. As we ponder the prospect of the Eye of the Sahara being Atlantis, let us recall the narrative of Troy. Initially regarded as purely mythical, it was eventually unearthed precisely where Homer's epics situated it. Could the Eye of the Sahara harbor a comparable revelation? We eagerly await your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time.